Hello and welcome to a slow, grounded mindfulness flow for making space in the body and circulating your energy. And I didn't choose this timing actually, but the sun is perfectly at high noon here and coming in the skylight, the star-shaped window in the top of my geodesic dome. So it's so extra warm and beautiful. I'm going to practice in it and enjoy it. So I invite you to bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly and to close your eyes and have a little sway from side to side just to feel the weight of your body against the earth and to allow yourself to settle down into it. Allow yourself to receive that support. And as you breathe in, let the breath come down low in the belly. And as you exhale, just gently draw upward through the spine. Inhale, softening and receiving low in the body. And exhaling, finding that easeful length through the spine. You might even bring a little movement just to remind ourselves we're not here to practice rigidity. We're here to cultivate spaciousness and ease. So how can you make a little more space? And is there anything in your body you can adjust and allow to be a little more easeful, even right now before we've even begun? Checking in with the tops of your shoulders, any tension in the face, the forehead, in the breath. And let your breath be the unbroken rhythm, like the string that all of the movement is beaded upon throughout the practice. So just staying with that as your core focused, that changes everything. Just remembering to keep breathing, and I'll remind you, of course, as we go. So we can come around to hands and knees, setting your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And maybe curl your toes under and rock your weight back into the balls of your feet. Just to the degree that's comfortable for you. We do want to cultivate openness in the bottoms of the feet and in the ankles. It has an effect up through the whole body. And walk your hands back, and we'll prepare the wrists as well. So you can pop the palms of your hands and turn them towards the sky. And then bring the palms down and stretch into the wrists. And I always like to invite some different exploration, some different angles, so that we're preparing the body for real life, which is not a series of straight lines. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Life comes with curveballs. We are not always moving linearly. Okay, and then we'll walk the hands back forward and straighten out your feet, tops of the feet against the earth, shoulders over wrists, and feel the weight of your hands evenly spreading out into your mat. As you inhale, we'll drop the navel and look up. We're pulling the energy down into the basin of your pelvis softly with the breath. And on your exhalation, start to curl the tailbone under and wave up through the spine. So instead of pushing right to your maximum range of what you're capable of stretch-wise, let's stay inside the range that you feel a little hint of stretch, but you're still focusing on the ease and the spaciousness that's already in the body. And then we're going to widen that sense of spaciousness from inside. It's a very different way of practicing, letting the body remember what it's like to be easeful and spacious. And exhaling as you round the back, head comes down. Inhaling as you start to tip the tailbone towards the sky and the belly comes down and the gaze lifts. Think about the tailbone as being the leader. It begins the movement and the rest waves through the spine. Just focusing on your pace of breath, your movement, so we can really slow down and feel. Think about the energy circulation in the body. Inhaling, allowing the energy to flood low in the pelvis, nourishing the roots. And the exhalations, letting that energy pull gently up the spine from tailbone to crown. All right, we'll come back to neutral. Just feeling into the length between your tailbone and your crown, and allow a little sway from side to side. Just feeling the rotation of the arm bones, the shoulders. Once again, let it be subtle. Let it be a reminder of what's already here and easy. And then the tailbone kind of wags a little from side to side. And then you can let that movement get a little bit bigger from that subtlety, keeping the ease. It's like the tailbone is still the head of the snake, and it's moving, and the rest of the body gets to sway, just following it. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. Start to lift your left palm off the ground and then place it back down, and then lift the right palm off the ground and place it back down. And as you do this simple movement side to side, ask your body to figure out how to keep your torso perfectly neutral and your shoulders in the same position, so it's just the arm that has articulation. And you'll start to be able to feel the subtle shift from right to left that is your core stabilizers turning on to help you complete that task of stability. You can feel the transverse abdominis. You're awakening it without needing to know its name. You can feel what is doing the work of keeping you perfectly neutral. And that's everything, working from within and working from our felt sense of alignment. So we're going to lift the right hand now and bring it to the lower back, because you've already awakened those stabilizers. And then start to bring your left leg straight back behind you without changing anything in the torso, without changing anything in the lower back. So keeping your hand there, remembering to breathe there and keep the spaciousness there. It'll help you find the length in the leg, the length in the torso, the stability at the core. And you can reach that right arm forward as well if you like. It really doesn't add too much more on. You've already done the work of feeling yourself into this alignment with the leg parallel with the ground and the hips square. And then we'll exhale, right hand down, left knee down. Shore up again, gently at center to keep the stability, and we'll bring the left hand to the lower back. This is really good stuff for protecting the spaciousness in the lower back. And then start to bring the right leg straight back. Hip stays square, leg stays long. Breathe into your back. Focus on the length in your spine. You can bring that left arm forward if you wish. And keeping your awareness in the alignment that you've created. Where can you make a little more space? Where can it be a little easier? And then we'll bring the left hand down, right knee down, big toes into touch, knees a little wider, and we'll let the hips come back for child's pose. Just going slow, enjoying along the way, allowing the spine to lengthen out as you let your forehead come towards the earth. You can stack fists, forearms, or bring your forehead to the ground. Maybe a little rock on the forehead, just massaging away any tension that accumulates there. Hazard of thinking. And then reach the arms forward. And as we rise up, we're going to rise up with a rounded back. So rising up into that cat position. And we're going to keep the back rounded and engage the glutes a bit so that you're giving yourself a supportive hug. And then let the hips start to come down towards the earth. We're not pushing them there. We're not forcing anything. We're just letting gravity kind of pull the hips and staying strong in the glutes to protect the lower back. And then starting to pull the shoulders back and the heart forward and look up. So you're going to do this only to the range that feels good in your body. And then you let the chin come in, press between the shoulder blades, so let that float towards the sky. You start to round in the upper back, middle back, and your core is really working here to bring your hips slowly back towards the heels. So I love this as a practice to help people learn the muscle, the protection, to protect the spine. We'll rise up with a rounded back. When we do this slow, and we set that muscle memory so that when you do, faster movements, you know how to engage the muscles that protect the body. So glutes engaged to help protect the lower back. Going slow so you're feeling along the way. Just going to the edges for your body. And feeling everything along the way. We'll slowly bring the hips back and we'll do one more like that. Starting to rise up, rounded back. That muscular hug of the glutes to protect the length of the lower back so there's no compression. And then slowly letting the chest, the collarbones widen, chest lift, shoulders pull back, open the front of the throat, look up. And chin in, float the shoulder blades in the middle of the shoulder blades towards the sky, rounding the upper back, middle back. Slowly bringing your hips all the way back for child's pose. And letting your head settle back down towards the earth or towards whatever feels good to support it. Checking in with your breath and how it flows in child's pose. I'll bring the arms forward and rise up. And if you have a block, it's a great place to use one. You can also use the edge of a couch or a chair and have your hands on it. Or you can have your fingertips on the ground. All are fine. If you have 2 blocks, you can use one under each hand. Whatever works for you. I'm just going to use one, have both hands. And let the belly drop and the hips sway a little bit. So you're just rotating in the thigh bones and remembering ease. And then we're going to round the back and lift the right knee and step the foot to the outside of the mat. So the toes turn out on a 45-degree angle. I have a hard time not incorporating this into every little class that I do because it's one of the most effective things, a little fascial flow. So we're going to ground through the heel and use the hamstring to pull your hips forward. And then you just turn the gaze. And then you initiate with the foot again, pushing into the foot, engaging the thigh, using the leg strength to push the hips over towards the left. And then let the tailbone turn towards the left, and then turn the gaze over the left shoulder. And then you ground through the heel, use the hamstring, pull the hips forward. It ends in the turn of the gaze. So we're letting this wave through the body, pushing into the foot, hips back, tailbone to the left, gaze to the left. And we'll do one more, pulling forward, turning, and exhaling as you push back. Of course, you can do that for a while. We'll just do 3 on each side for today. And then we'll come back to neutral. Round the back, which helps to protect, right? And lift through the pelvic floor and slide that right knee back. Let the belly be heavy again. Wave in the tailbone from side to side. And then we'll exhale as we round the back, lift the left knee, step the foot to the outside of the block. So we'll just lean back enough that you can find that strength in the hamstring, grounding through the heel, pulling the hips forward, completing the movement by looking over the left shoulder, and then pushing into the foot. So you're always using the energy of the earth and letting that wave through and express in the head. Body first. Pulling. It's a great way of practicing that we don't want our thinking mind to lead the way. We want it to be in service, and we stay embodied and present. And that the thinking mind is in service of what's true and good. Pushing back, turning over the shoulder. And then we'll come to neutral, round the back, lift up through the pelvic floor, slide that knee back. And then we'll keep the block if you've got one close. And if you don't have one for this next one, you could use the edge of a chair or a couch. Right? We'll just bring the forearms down. Let the knees be a little wider. And we really want to just have a moment to sway and let the belly and the pelvic floor and everything just relax. Let a little sense of draping happen. Breathe into the belly. Let everything go. And just focus on softness. And then if you have a block, we're going to use the block. I like it on the highest setting. You could use it on the middle setting. And I'll show you what it would look like if you're on the edge of a couch too. You can hold on to the block with the left hand, and we're going to bring the right elbow to the top of the block and close your wing, bringing the hand to the back of the heart. And then just gently letting your heart and your head melt down to the inside of the block. So you get a nice stretch in the shoulder. You can stay and breathe there. I'm actually going to grab a chair and show you what it would look like if you had a chair. A little in the moment adjusting here. And yes, if you only had a chair or a couch near you, you could either do this just with both arms at the same time, or left hand on the ground, right hand to the back, and then you allow that same melting forward. What I like about doing this one arm at a time is that you can use that left hand to moderate the amount of pressure so we don't overload the shoulder, right? So you can let it relax, but then you can give it the support as you press right down into the left hand or forearm to help lift the back of the heart, and then circle that right elbow back off another hand or forearm to the ground. So we'll do the other side and hold on to the block or press your right hand into the ground. Bring the left elbow to the surface you're using, hand to the back of the heart, and then just go nice and slow. Use that right arm or hand to create the stability and the support so that you can relax as much as possible without overloading or overstretching. I love this one. Right, and then use that right forearm or hand to help lift up through the back of the heart. Circle that left hand back to the earth. And we'll just move our blocks or chairs or whatever off and come back to hands and knees and see how that feels. How do your shoulders feel? Get a little circulation in the shoulders. And curl your toes under, rock your weight back into your heels, and then think about using only your leg strength to start to lift your hips up into downward dog. So it helps to keep the weight back in the legs and less effort from the arms and the shoulders. It's a very different feeling to come up like that, like a dog really does come into downward dog. Reaching their back hips up to the sky. And then we can bend one knee and then the other. Stretching into the backs of the legs. Keeping that nice openness in the shoulders. And then we'll bring the knees back to the earth. And then bring them to one side. We're going to come lie down on the back. We're keeping everything pretty grounded and pretty relaxing here.